session, the sampling distribution 2. In this video, I am going to explain some of the problems and the concepts. Errors. While testing a hypothesis, we usually come across two types of error. They are of type 1 and type 2 error. The type 1 error occurs if a null hypothesis is rejected while it should have been accepted. Such an error of rejection of the true hypothesis is called as the type 1 error, and it is denoted by alpha, which is known as the level of significance. So the probability of correct decision in this case is 1 minus alpha, because total probability is 1. So because of the error, it is denoted by alpha, so we will take the complementary of that, that is 1 minus alpha. Second type is if a null hypothesis is accepted while it should have been rejected. Such an error of acceptance of the false hypothesis is called as the type 2 error, and it is denoted by beta. The probability of correct decision in this case is 1 minus beta, which is known as the power of the test. So it is tabulated in this case here. When the hypothesis is true, we accept the hypothesis, then it is a correct decision. If hypothesis is true but we reject it, it is a type 1 error. Next, if the hypothesis is false but we accept it, then it will be type 2 error. If it is false and we reject it, it is a correct decision. So we can remember very easily, when it is true and accepted, it is correct. False and reject also it is correct. But if it is vice versa, you will be getting a error of type 1 and type 2. Coming to the significance level, the probability level below which leads to the rejection of the hypothesis is known as the significant level. This probability is conventionally fixed at 0.05 or 0.01, that is 5% or 1%. These are called the significance levels. We feel confident in rejecting a hypothesis at 1% level of significance than at 5% level of significance. The 5% level of significance can also be understood as the probability of committing errors of either types, type 1 or type 2, is 0.05. Coming to the test of significance and confidence intervals, the process which help us to decide about the acceptance or rejection of the hypothesis is called as the test of significance. Let us suppose that we have a normal population with the mean mu and the standard deviation sigma. If x bar is the sample mean of the random sample of size n and the quantity z is defined by z equal to x bar minus mu by sigma by root n, is called as the standard normal variate. From the table of normal areas, we find that 95% of the area lying between z equals to minus 1.96 and z equals to plus 1.96. In other words, we can say with 95% confidence that z lies between minus 1.96 to plus 1.96. Further, 5% level of significance is denoted by z 0.05. Similarly, from the table of normal area, 99% area lies between minus 2.58 and plus 2.58. That is 99% confidence that z lies between minus 2.58 and plus 2.58. Further, 1% level of significance is denoted by Z 0.01. Diagrammatically, it can be represented like this. When we take the normal distribution curve, here one line and here one line. So this is the 1% of rejection, or when we are taking a 5%, it will be divided again 0.25% and 0.25%. This is the 95% acceptance region, and this is the rejection region. Either it can be 95% or 99%. This is the acceptance region and this is the rejection region. So x bar minus 1.96 into sigma by root 10 is less than or equals to mu less than or equal to x bar plus 1.96 into sigma by root 10. Call this as 1, whereas for the 1% it is x bar minus 2.58 sigma by root 10 into root 10, which is less than or equals to mu less than or equals to x bar plus 2.58 into sigma by root 10. Call this as 2. Hence, we can say that equation 1 is 95% confidence interval and 2 is 99% confidence interval. So, it is diagrammatically represented over here. So, when it is a 5% level of significance, this is minus 1.96 and minus plus 1.96 because it is symmetric. So, it is 5%. So, this 5% will be divided as 2.5 here and 2.5 here, and remaining is 95%. This is the acceptance regions we call it. This is mean. Similarly, coming to this one, 99% is the acceptance region and minus 2.58 and plus 2.58 in the tabular value, and this is 5%, that is remaining 1% is divided as 0.5% and 0.5% in the rejection area. So one-tailed and then the two-tailed tests. In our test of acceptance or non-acceptance of the hypothesis, we concentrated on the value of Z on both sides of the mean. This can be categorically stated that the focus of attention lies in the two tails of the distribution, and hence such a test is called as a two-tailed test. Sometimes we will be interested in the extreme values to only one side of the mean, in which case the region of significance will be a region to one side of the distribution. So obviously the area of such a region will be equal to the level of significance itself. Such a test is called as a one-tailed test. Now when we take the critical value for 5% and then the 1%, in the case of one-tailed test, it is minus 1.645 or plus 1.645, whereas in the 1% level, it is minus 2.33 or plus 2.33. In the case of two-tailed test, for the 5% level, it is minus 1.96 and plus 1.96, and 1% level, it is minus 2.58 to plus 2.58. So test of significance for the larger samples when it is taken when n is greater than 30, that is for the single proportions. This test is used to find a significant difference between proportions of the sample and the population. Let x be the observed number of successes in a sample size of n, and the accepted number of successes. Let the associated standard normal variance of the Z be denoted by Z is equal to x minus sigma divided by mu. Here P is the accepted number of successes. So Z is equal to x minus NP by root of NPQ. Therefore mean is NP and standard deviation is root of NPQ. If mod Z is 2.58, we conclude that the difference is highly significant and reject the hypothesis. If P is the probability of success, root of PQ by N is the standard error proportional for success. So P plus or minus 2.58 root of PQ by N are the probable limits. Thank you.